Hey parents, let's talk about this thing called four-corner leadership and apply it to your parenting. So take out a napkin or a piece of paper and draw a square and then put a crosshair in there so that you've got four corners. Here's what four-corner leadership is. In the first corner, you have environment. If you want to be a good parent at home, it starts with creating a good environment for your kids, for your family. The next corner is equipment. You need to make sure that you're giving your kids the tools to succeed in that environment. And then in the third corner, you have this thing called training. So the training that you give your kids within that environment to use the tools so that they can succeed. And then in the fourth corner, you have this thing called willingness. Now, you can only set up the environment and the tools and the training, but at the end of the day, your kids have to have the willingness to use the tools that you've given them, to use that environment that you've helped to create. And hopefully they're going to take what you've done and they're going to apply it to their lives for the rest of their lives, and you will have been a great four-corner leader as a parent in your home. Now, I want you to think a little bit about this. This is so that you can have a conversation about this and process some of this stuff together as parents, either with your spouse or with a small group that you're a part of. But think through these four things once again. So number one, the environment. What kind of environment have you set up at home? You know, are you creating an environment where life can happen, where your kids can thrive? You know, one of the questions you can ask is, what are the values in our environment? You know, in our home, some of our values are love. You know, that's sort of a pretty central part of the environment that we've set up. As Christian parents, we also want our kids to be pursuers of God. So our environment has a lot of that involved in it. But my wife and I, it's our responsibility to create the environment, to create the structures for our kids to succeed and grow. And then that second thing then is we have to give them the tools for that. Now, obviously, the tools are truth. I would say truth is part of the tools that we give our kids. You know, they're being fed lies every single day through music, through movies, through their friends at school. Even some of the teachers at school. So they're getting all this input. So we need to make sure that as good four-corner leaders, parents in the home, that we're giving our kids the tools to succeed, not just in these junior high and high school years or whatever, but tools even beyond this. And so the part of the tools for us is truth. You know, we want to give them truth. We want to give them a biblical worldview. We want to make sure that they understand that. And so that's part of the tools. There are other tools as well. You can talk about that. But that's a big tool for us, understanding the Bible. And then that third area, training. You know, in the workplace, training is pretty obvious because there's training programs or whatever. But in the home, I think training for us, the way we view our training is a couple of things. Number one, it's just the way we live it out ourselves. You know, we're training our kids by just the way we live. You know, they're going to see how we live. They're going to see the model. They're going to see our example. And they're going to learn a lot just from that. So a lot of our training is just the way we live. But some of our training that we do every single week with our kids is you know, the resources that we set up. We have family devotionals every single week with our kids as a family, because that's a big part of training, having conversations. I think conversations, it's just a simple concept like that. Learning how to talk, having a culture of talking in your home. And we use the resources online for that. That really gives our kids the training they need. They can process it. We can see them process it. They can say it back to us. We can say it back to them. We can have conversations about it. That's a huge part of the training in our particular environment. You know, the Bible says, train up a child in the way they should go, and in the end, they won't depart from it. And we're really gonna hang on to that one because we can do these three things. We can give them an environment, we can give them the tools, and we can train them up. But that's really the only part we can play. That fourth corner is really up to our kids. Our kids have to show a willingness, a desire to take what we're teaching them, to take our leadership and to apply it to their lives. And in the end, you know, like the Bible says, now, who knows when the end is? You know, maybe there's going to be some struggles. You know, parents, your kids are going to, it's a journey, right? It's a process. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs. But in the end, if we set up the environment, if we set up the tools, if we set up the training, in the end, Our hope and our prayer is that our kids will show a willingness to take what we've taught them and to apply it to their lives for the rest of their lives.